Hey, handsome.
Well, hello, lovely.
Happy Passover.
Happy Passover, and you do know that.
I'm Paula J. Parker.
And I'm Kurupt, DPG's finest.
And why do we call this the forum?
Because this is for them, Paula. You know the game.
I know that. So tell me about your week. You said you had something you wanted to discuss. Wanted to discuss.
Well, this is Happy Passover, as you do
Right.
know. But I also, going into this Easter that's going on and this great timing, this Passover. Easy E was celebrated not too long ago. His passing, I want to give it up for Eric, was a great influence in the music game, and especially for the West Coast. And I want to also give
for
it
the world.
Yeah.
For the world. He changed the game.
Yes, he did.
He really did.
Business wise, and he also taught you how to strut. And I also want to give it up for Nipsey. His passing was recently, April 1st, actually, I think. April 1st, was when Nipsey passed away. Around that time, April 1st. So I'm going to give it up for Nip because we still here, you know what I'm saying? And these were great men that passed that opened up a lot of doors for all of us. So, church, tabernacle.
They become our ancestors.
Right.
So we know they're watching over us.
Yes, they
and looking out that the universe is proper. I don't know. Did you hear about the shooting today at the Capitol building? I mean, the stabbing and then the shooting at the Capitol building?
Are you serious?
Yes. Some man named Noah something or another, sound black to me. I don't know. It could be white because white people. He just ran up into the Capitol building and jumped out with a knife, stabbed up one cop, killed him, stabbed another, injured him. Yeah, killed a cop. Jumped out the car and killed a cop. I'm thinking if he's a black guy, he might be upset about Park, and seeing that the George Floyd murder case will only get Mr. Chauvin 10 years. Maybe he's like eye for an eye. But then I'm thinking if he's the white guy,
I don't know too many black people that's going to go dolo.
No, dolo crazy like that. That sounds like some old, who are those people, the Arabs who do the suicide stuff? But then they're trying to say he has no, history of, political involvement.
They give his name?
Yeah, Noah somebody or another. Do you remember his last name? Oh, no? Okay. Well, no, somebody's name is Noah. Maybe the police officer that passed away. I really feel horrible for him because he was probably already stressed out from the other Capitol thing. And then here this come. Dude just rammed into a concrete thing, jumped out, and started stabbing cops.
So he drove?
Yeah, he drove. This happened at I guess 10 o'clock where you are, Pacific, 10, 11 o'clock. Just 1 o'clock, East Coast, ran into a concrete thing that had a big old stop, a barricade.
So
jumped out with a knife.
Is he dead, Paul?
Yeah, the cops shot him dead. You know the cops gonna kill you. That what's his face said, cops got a motto: dead man can't talk.
Exactly.
So we don't know who he is. We don't know why he did it. So I figure things like that we can save to talk about when we get more to talk about. I don't want to assume.
We need to get more information.
Exactly.
And that sounds like a great thing.
And that's why I'm not trying to discuss the whole George Floyd trial yet as well. There are so many things we can definitely go into, but
we definitely don't want to be like that white lady. What's her name on CNN or whatever?
Which one?
Bugging. The one that be bugging, always be tripping and talking a gang of shit.
We ain't gotta be like Mike. I ain't think about her. We just be like ourselves.
She brings the cart before the horse.
Right. Like you always jump into conclusions. Let's figure out, let's let it breeze,
Right.
and then we can talk about it. We've got, it's 10:07. Where is Daz?
Wait, I thought we wasn't giving up the game.
It's time for Daz right now.
Oh, okay. Well, we waiting for him. We're gonna see what it is.
Where you at, my brother?
I mean, he's out in the A. You know what I'm saying?
See that? I don't care where he is. He can be anywhere in America and get on in the world and get on his phone. Cause we've got a surprise guest
He's at the
coming.
computer. He's on deck. It's
Right.
just about him connecting in with us because
we've got that surprise guest coming. And I definitely wanted to, chop it up first before we start talking to the money.
And
Dad,
Dad said he appreciated because I told him you wanted to discuss the book and what's going on with him. So he's like, oh, for real? He's like, he loves some Paula. So he was like, oh.
I love him too. That's my honey bunches. But I don't want him to give away too much of the book. Number one, we want people to buy it.
Right.
Number two, we want everybody to want to put it on TV. We're basically getting a one-on-one lesson on how to pitch to studios. So if that's something that you're interested in, we've got folks coming to help us get this sold. And the people that we've invited,
I'm gonna listen to that game.
Yeah, that's what I want, that game. And the people that we've invited got that game and then some. So we've got one baby in the waiting room. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, okay. Oh, Derek, you're leaving me messages on my IG. Hi, baby. Congratulations. That's Derek Rutledge just hit me.
Oh, yeah.
He is Oprah's makeup artist. But he was my first makeup artist. He just won a very prestigious award for makeup artist of the galaxy, and from the Truth Awards. He won a Truth Award. Hi, baby.
Tell him I said congratulations.
Congratulations. We love you. He said he left me messages, so he had to text me because, honey, I don't read this stuff. I don't have my glasses on. Makeup is on beat. Okay, thank you. I took the time. I was just telling Kurupt. I had a little extra time, to look at the little YouTube babies.
Showed up bright and early.
I wanted to give, okay, Kurupt. Yes, it was bright and early. Yes, I started early.
Wait a minute, is that the star? That's the star.
Then Slava is a little baby that I can follow. She's got to be like, I don't know, Russian or something. What she sounded you back? Ukrainian. I don't know what she is, but she's a little cutie pie. She helped me put this little look together. So thank you. Hi, baby. Derek for makeup. Shouting them out. Hello, my friend. I love you so much. I hope I did a remote congratulations to Derek when he won his award. So I really hope that you liked it. I was butt naked, just in case.
Oh shit.
You were wondering. I didn't show that, but I alluded. Okay, let's see what we've got going on over here. We still got some time. You know me, I'm a stickler for time. So let's find out what you've been doing this week, Mr. Kurupt.
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm sticking to this diet, continuing this thing of positivity in my life. You know what I'm saying? I've really been into this learning this Google channel thing, because this thing gets you connected with so much stuff. This Google remote.
Oh, what is it?
Google remote, right? So I just saw Godzilla versus Kong. Woo! I'm into that weird shit right there.
That's not weird. Yeah. That's like Japanese, brilliance.
Oh my God. Then they brought Mega Godzilla to the table.
So this is Google remote. It's kind of like the Cody stick, Amazon thing.
Fire stick, yeah.
but it's for Google. So
Google
you get a lot more.
Whoop Wop, the Whammy got everything the Fire Stick got and more. So I'm rolling with that Google Stick. It's #1 in the game right now. Hello.
You just schooled me on something because my Fire Stick does not work. It is
See,
very fickle.
The Google works all the time. Oh yeah.
All the time. Now, can you tell me, like, my Fire Stick, I could get like, some cute little channels, for the. Does the Google remote let you do that too?
The Google remote gives you the channels for free. And
you ain't gotta be all scared like you going to jail or something.
Exactly. You understand me? Legal is Google.
Right. You ain't jacking nobody.
Anytime you want to learn how, if you want to know how to fix something, you go to Google. You Google it. Right. Well, now they got their own Fire Stick called the Google Stick. And this thing right here got all the wop wops. Of course, you got to tune in to which one you want. You got to pay that.
You got to pay. So what did you pay for that got you the Godzilla versus Megatron?
HBO Cinemax.
We
you
got
can't get on the regular.
cable, but this hotel has HBO. I let it ride. I let HBO ride.
Hey, look, you can't get this on the regular cable networks like DirecTV and Comcast and all of that. You got to get it on that Google Wop Wop. It got
Wop. So you know what, baby? I'm gonna let Dominique in since she is. Oh wait, let's see. She's there. So how do you do this? Oh, okay. And let's talk to Dominique while we wait for our gentleman. This is our cutie of the week.
Cutie of the
Well, I said baddie of the week. I called it baddie.
Oh, my computer was on mute. I didn't hear anything. Okay, it's on.
Baddie of the week, like.
Well, what you sent me was cute.
I know, but she's a baddie. She's
bad cute. You gotta use both.
One.
So, what's up, Dom?
Hey, what's up with you?
Do you know Kurupt?
I've heard of him.
What's up?
Heard of him. She's a youngin.
Yes, I was a youngin.
So Dom stars with me on A House Divided. And she got on that show, and I mean, she turns it out. And I recently saw you on another project. What was that I saw you on that I called you?
Cutthroat City on Netflix. RZA, he directed it.
Right. RZA. How was that? How was it working with RZA?
That was crazy. I guess I am a little bit of a young. Because I didn't even realize that was him in the callback. So when I got on set, and wardrobe was like, "So did you audition on tape or did you go in person?" I was like, "I went in person." And she's like, "Oh, so you met RZA?" And like, I know who RZA is. I Wu-Tang, but I didn't know the face. There's so many Wu-Tang members.
But I get you. I was there. I'm with you. I was there the first time Wu-Tang performed in that little bitty space. And it was like 50 niggas on the stage.
Like 89 of them, right? Like,
and I was like, y'all gonna have to split a check like a whole lot of ways. I don't know how y'all gonna survive. And my girlfriend worked for Jive, and she only would bring me, because I'm a hip hop fanatic, to see if I liked what was going on. And I was like, I don't know how they gonna get paid. So I don't think they ended up with Jive, but there were a lot, or maybe they did. I don't friggin' know. But I just remember being there, and I don't remember RZA. Like and I'm a huge hip hop fanatic, and he's the mother friggin' man.
Well, RZA stays behind the scenes.
Okay.
He's always been the behind the scenes guy. The behind the scenes guy usually the one that runs the ball game.
Yeah.
And RZA was always like behind the scenes, and he was rapping on the whoop wop, but he wasn't loud. You know what I'm saying? And his acting game is up to par. I gotta give it up. My favorite RZA role where he really killed the game was American Gangsters.
Ooh.
And he played, American Gangsters. RZA was in that. He was one of the polices. That was RZA. And he played characters that's out of his whoop wop. So that's a good one that you on that RZA whoop wop.
That's why I brought you on too, Dom, because you are on the RZA show, and I know that what RZA was able to capture with the creation of Wu-Tang on film. I'm not sure what network, but it was really, really good. And it's what we want to do, or he wants to do with because that's my baby,
That's your
with the
baby.
Dog Pound Gangsters. So talk to us about working with RZA. How did you get the part? It was a funny story. I remember you telling me about it.
For that, that one I just auditioned.
But you said it was like, wear what you had on.
Yeah. That when I got on set, well, they told me beforehand. No, when I got on set, actually, wardrobe came to me. She's like, yeah, so you brought the outfit you wore to the audition, right? Because RZA specifically said, you know, y'all don't worry about wardrobe. She gonna wear what she wore in the audition.
Right.
I was like, yeah, I brought it. So the little iconic little body fishnet thing I'm wearing in the movie, that's actually mine.
That's so cute and sexy.
Thank you.
Rocked it. You look so pretty. And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So tell me how did you decide to start acting? Because, you know, you're a mother and you live here in Louisiana, but I met you working in Los Angeles.
Yeah, and a lot of people, when I would say I'm from New Orleans, but you know I'm on set working, they'd be like, "Oh, how long you been living in LA?" And I'm like, "I don't live in LA." They fly me out, right? That's not the norm.
And I can't even see my baby because I'm working and I'm sequestered. They won't let me give you hugs and kisses and meet your babies. So yeah.
I'm glad.
So when I first got the whoop wop, you know, I had to Google it. There go that Google again. Oh yeah. So
whoop wop, baby.
Yeah, I Googled it. And when I Googled it, okay, I said, dang, she from the NO?
Oh, you got when I sent you her, yes.
Yeah, the Google. I had to Google it. Pop. I said, oh, she from, oh my God, she from what?
Whoa. Impressed.
Hey, whoa there. I said, oh my goodness.
So what part of New Orleans are you from?
I lived all around, honestly. I can't even.
But talk about it. Talk about where your journey.
Yeah, because you look so tropical. I could have swore. I said, when I saw your pics, I'm like, oh my God, she's got to be the islands. And then I saw, I said, oh, she hood.
Right, just good old Creole.
Right, I said,
they got a big old ghetto booty.
Oh, wow. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, no, I was born in New Orleans, but I've been to 23 schools from like pre-K through 12th grade, like 23 schools. I moved around. I didn't live nowhere past a year. Like every 6 months we were somewhere else.
Okay. And is that military or what was that about?
No, just my dad wasn't in the picture, so my mom was just like doing what she could, moving around. Like,
yeah, that
we ended up in the Bay Area when I was like 7. We moved to Oakland. And we stayed out there until I was like 16. But actually, the year we moved back to New Orleans is the year Katrina hit. And I was like, fine, time to come back. So I kind of grew up.
So what did you guys do during that time? When Katrina hit, did you guys evacuate or?
We did. Yeah, we went to Birdville, which is right outside of Baton Rouge. And but we came right back like, I don't know, that's within like 6 months.
And
like,
what was the difference?
Everything. The whole city, and it's been gentrified a lot. Like they took advantage.
It's absolutely gorgeous now.
I get.
Oh my gosh! It is like the air is even cleansed.
Yeah,
like God just came down and cleansed it.
Yeah,
what's crazy? You know what's crazy? You was in New Orleans when me and my mama Tina was out there. You know, my godmother is Tina Marie. So
you know how much I love. We were so cool.
And Mama Tina,
that's my girl. Like that's my first celebrity to me.
You know, Mama's hood.
Well, no, Regina King was my first. Shout out, Regina. My second.
Pasadena. She was on Cash Money. She was signed to Baby and Slim.
Okay.
So we came out there. If you remember, during that time, the Essence Award was out there.
It's still
Essence Award. And so we flew in. Mama wanted me to come out there with her, and we went out there. Me, her, Aaliyah, you know what I'm saying, her daughter, and we all went out there. Auntie Penny, and we went out there, which is Rick James's sister. We all flew out there, and we all posted up at the hotel. And then right before Hurricane Katrina, y'all had another hurricane.
I know we had one right after.
It was right
But
before.
it was hurricane season, so we was probably having a few. I can't remember, but yeah.
Right. And this one here, we got stuck in New Orleans and we had to stay at the Cash Money Mansion.
Mm.
Right. This was right before Katrina. And we
And
couldn't
how
leave.
was that? Please describe the Cash Money Mansion.
Right? It sounds like a great place to be stuck in.
Okay.
It ripped where they pool was, the whole pool area ripped the roof off. And it was just banging all night. And we, oh my God.
So is that in Holly Grove or is that like?
I doubt that's in Holly Grove.
No,
Yeah, I thought
we rode through Holly Grove. It was in Baton Rouge.
Yeah,
we rode through Holly Grove because
Cash Money Mansion.
We
and so after that, we flew immediately because it was over. And then I swear to goodness, right after that, Hurricane Katrina kicked right.
Yeah.
So wait a minute. I want to go back. I'm sorry. Hold up, Dom. I need to know about this mansion. What was the Cash Money Mansion like? Was it like just?
Oh well, you know,
like
I think that was their main spot for everybody to be. It was humongous. You know, Baby and Slim spare no expenses.
Oh,
so
wow.
it was humongous, and it was like all the flights got canceled. So Baby said, well, y'all just come to the mansion, baby. You know, you just come post at the mansion tomorrow. It should be over tomorrow. You know, they didn't stay there though. They went home, left us off in that motherfucker. It's so big. I could have heard ghosts. I heard ghosts, not apparitions, and people was talking. I'm like, what's the?
And how was
so
Tina?
Big.
Tina was chilling. Tina was like, all right.
Yeah, Mama was in her little whoop wop, and we was all in our own little whoop wops. I stayed in this one spot because I wanted to see everything. So I ain't go to no room. I ain't want to be colluded. I want to be in the middle right here where the doors are and everything. Like in an earthquake, you got to get under the school. Right. You in school, you got to get underneath the
right. That's what they taught us.
Or stay in between the whoop wops. So you know, this hurricane, all you hear is the boom and the wham, and it's ripping the roof off and doing
hitting
this
on that mansion. Yes.
Right. So in the morning we got up out of there and Hurricane Katrina kicked right after that. So you was out there, just saying, small world, Paula, because we was neighbors almost. Hello.
So when Hurricane Katrina first started surfacing, they gave you time to evacuate. And
they did. We almost didn't though, because we do this every year. Every year it's gonna be this big, huge hurricane, and then nothing ends up happening. So we was like, fuck it. We was like, and then me and my mom didn't feel well that day. So we just was staying in the house. But my mom, at one point, somebody got on the news. I forgot who it was. One of these politicians was like, get y'all asses out of there. My mom was like,
someone you trusted. Yes.
Yeah. And then like we saw the neighbors. We saw like everybody on our street with suitcases and shit. We was like, I think this might be the one. So we ended up leaving late. And we traveled from New Orleans to Perryville, which is like right outside of Baton Rouge. It takes no more than an hour to get to. It took us 12 hours to get there. The traffic was that hectic because everybody was trying to leave at the same time.
So when you came
back, Paula, they hit New Orleans with the boy that cried wolf. They kept on talking about the hurricane leave, the hurricane leave. And then when the real one came, everybody was like, we ain't worried about it.
Right.
This is my favorite pick.
Oh, that's an old movie. I like that.
Paula always
like, who was that?
Real deal.
That's you?
That is our cutie of the whoop wop, and I love it because you are like it's different than actually.
That's absolutely gorgeous.
Right there. Yes, it is. You was in character mode.
What project was that from, honey?
That was just a photo shoot. This amazing photographer. She's like,
oh my gosh, hair is just like.
That photographer used to do my hair, my makeup, take the pictures. Like she was a one-stop shop.
Okay, so how did you get from coming back to here, NOLA, after the hurricane? Was your home devastated? Were you able? Did you help people get their homes together?
I was still a kid. I was 16. So our house, it's a house my grandma had just bought. She lives in Cali. She's a nurse, but we were staying in this house she bought. So it's 2 stories. So upstairs was fine. And that's where the majority of like my clothes, all our important stuff was upstairs. So downstairs, she got that remodeled. And that just took a few months. So we was able to come back. And it was, we actually won in
a lawsuit
process. Because my grandma, she just bought the house in February. No, she had, we were winning. Like, because she bought the house in February. ran into in August, and her insurance paid the house off. So she paid a
Oh,
mortgage from
wow.
February to August, and then got a house paid off. So
Oh,
she took
wow.
that money and put it downstairs,
So
and she was.
when did you begin to act?
I did my first like play in high school. I did like this church play in Oakland for Victory Outreach, and I used to do these characters, which is if you go on my page, I do like these characters with these accents and all this craziness. So I always used to do that.
That's the
So I'm
perfect.
like,
Yes.
yeah, so I always did that as a kid. Like I mimicked people. I learned Spanish as a kid. I taught myself I've always been interested in like dialects and accents and characters.
Right.
Really.
You have to be. Yes.
But I was really shy. So I would never really like perform. So I was just super shy. So when we were in church and they announced they were doing a play, my mom was like, "Oh, you're gonna sign up?" And I was like, "No." She was like, "No, you're gonna sign up. Like you gonna sign
That
up."
wasn't a question.
Right.
Right.
I was like, "Oh," so she literally made me do it. And then when I did it, I was like, I'm here. And I loved it. And I got bit by the bug. And so I spent all of high school trying to figure out a real job though. So I was like, that was fun, but that's not a real job. I'm not really succeed with that. So like I spent that whole all 4 years trying to think of something real. And my senior year, I was like, I can't think of anything. So I guess I may as well do it. So like when I turned 18, that's when I started doing like extra work and student films and on Craigslist trying to find little jobs.
From Oakland. Where were you at
Well,
that?
no, I had moved back to New Orleans by then,
Because there's a lot of work out here.
Yeah, well, yeah, at that time, it's like there is and there isn't because they fly in LA.
It's building up though. I see it building up a lot more. You know,
we were on fire at one point, but we had these good tax credit incentives, and then they took that.
Yes, you do. Yes,
and a lot of business went. That's from my very first.
Speaking of acting, what movie was this?
It was Bolden, which they refilmed like 3 different times. So I don't even think I'm in the like, cut that comes out. I was like a apparition. I wasn't even like a real person. So I was like
Paula said, scary,
I thought you had the herpes or something.
I'm gonna be honest. Hey, Paula, I'm gonna be honest. I thought you got beat up and the news caught you. You know what I'm saying? And it was like, damn. And I was like, damn, who did this to her? I want to meet them because I want to fuck their ass up.
Okay, so go ahead. So
I'm just saying, though. Bam, whoever did your makeup, you got great makeup artists. She got great makeup artists because that right there and the other one I showed, whoever it is, they did that.
Right. That's the range. So when did you get your first professional like speaking gig?
The Game. Yeah, I was in New Orleans and I was on The Game when I was 21. We shot that in Atlanta. That was my first like principal speak. It was their first season on BET. You know how they were on the CW and then they went away and they came back. I was in that first season when they came back to BET, and I was Malik's assistant when he fired TT, and I was like the replacement assistant. I was horrible at my job and he fired me. So
you were kind of reoccurring.
No, it was just that episode. Like I got hired and fired in the one episode. I was horrible.
Okay, well, that's cute. I love the show. Raquel Robinson, HU in the house.
Yeah,
that was a big show.
That was. But at the time, like you could have told me I wasn't famous when I was on that.
So then what? So you had the bug. So then Dan came out here.
Yes, I've been doing Dan for years. The first time I worked with him was on this smaller film, Could This Be Love? No. The first time I worked with him was on the Mike Epps show. They were supposed to be doing a Mike Epps show. I don't know, something happened. They ended up not doing it, but I was like one of the hot girls in like a few of the scenes, just being a hot girl, whatever. Right. And, we kind of lost touch. Like, I met him in school, whatever, we lost touch. But then I met Dan again on the set of this other movie where I had like a more prominent role. And that's where we got like cool. And he was like, fuck with you. I'm gonna put you in some other stuff. And I'm like, that's what they always say.
In a role as a nun.
Yes, on Bronx SIU. And I'm like forever grateful. Cause I'm covered from head to toe. All you see is this, like no hair, no nothing. So like
it was so brave of him. And that's why I love Dan Garcia. Yeah. He produces, writes the show that we do, A House Divided Together. And, even my role, Stephanie, would usually be given to like a 15-year-old girl, the daughter of the patriarch. But he played it real because the daughter is usually older than the girlfriend. You know, and I just appreciate the way he thinks outside the box.
Oh,
So
he does.
you played a nun and rocked it. No makeup, humble.
Nothing. And I was nervous. I was like, oh shit, this is relying solely on my acting. Like I don't have nothing else to help me out. And so I was like, he must really trust my talent. So that made me feel good that he believed in me enough to even give me that. Because we're not relying on nothing else but ability at this point. So
see, and it goes also to the falseness out there that it takes a woman's body and all the sexuality for the woman to make it. But see, a role like that is a career. It's a part of your career changing because believe it or not, these directors, these casting directors, all these people, you think they don't see it. Oh, it's a small film, but they see it. You know what I'm saying? And they see the different avenues. Like I just showed you in one view, then showed you in another view, and it just goes to show, what do they call it? What do they call it? Multifaceted. I mean, you can play multiple roles. That's why I love Most Def, because Most Def to me is one of the greatest actors I've seen from the music entertainment game. You know, you got a couple of them now. You got Will Smith, you got Jamie Foxx, but see, Most Def though, Most Def. I mean, the way
that was my childhood crush, Most Def. Like he's, I loved me Most Def. I'm like 10 years old. Like,
are we matchmaking around here? Because that's a
but when he rocked that role as the
first black doctor,
oh my gosh,
who did heart surgery.
He should have gotten all kinds of accolades.
Yes, he should have, because
I was waiting for him to become Denzel.
He killed that role more than any of those.
I think he killed it too hard.
That's what it was. It wasn't ready for it because he killed it. I mean, Most Def carried that because it was out.
He taught me something, and I ended up going to an ophthalmologist whose father was the man who Most Def's character worked for.
Yeah, because it's a true story.
Right.
And see, the thing is also, right, this is where awards are supposed to come from, when you play out of character and bring it home. And everybody else in that movie played their character, like the main star.
Everybody, even
that was his character right there.
Or I don't know who the diva was, but maybe Neil, somebody rocked it too. I was like,
right. And see, they played this role that, like, his voice. You hear him talk that accent. I mean, he killed him. He's from New York, ain't he?
Yeah.
He hit that southern accent on him.
He went to the performing arts.
He hit that accent on him, man, out this world. I said, oh my good, I believed him. And that's the key. When you can believe him,
right.
You know, it's like, okay, like when a person plays a role and you can't stand their ass, like, I hate this guy. Even when you see him in person, you just got that character still in your head, like
Danny Glover. That's Danny.
That guy did his role.
Mr. Oh, right, and
that's Mr.
I was seeing him and I didn't even know him, and I swear I just was like, and I thought he was somebody from I went to high school with that I just didn't like, and I was like, didn't I go to high school with you?
Hey, and Danny Glover, he killed that color purple. I mean, man, women couldn't stand him,
people
man.
People don't like me because of Joy. Like, they don't know why. But it's like, you know, you leave an impression on the subconscious.
And I gotta be honest, because you know, Paula's my family, right? This is my sister. But I'm not biased. Every time, you know, we think about great actors and actresses, right? But on the reels, every time I see Paula, only thing that comes to my head, and I've seen the majority of all Paula's great films. She's been a part of Biggie's. You understand?
Oh, yes.
I mean, real big.
Oh, yes. I grew up on Miss Paula.
Phone Booth was big, okay? Now, see, all I think about when I see Paula, first thing comes to my mind, I want to say to Paula, food. That's the first thing comes to my mind. Because, I mean, I know that wasn't in the script. I know that wasn't in the script. You know, you made that character you.
You know what it is.
She pulls up and then she just moves her hair and boom. That was it.
I'm about
that
to
was it.
Where we at now? No,
that was it. You understand me? And the
That's
thing
such
is,
an iconic character.
oh yeah,
Like everybody knows that character.
So
Yeah.
right.
you're
But
on
then
your
she hit
way.
him like this when he was like, "Get in the house, get in the house." She like, "Ah, who laughing at?" And walked it out. I said, "Oh my God."
I was very blessed to be able to start my career in such a powerful way. And that's
Mhm.
what I'm saying to you as well. I see you. Like,
We
just
see you.
that, you know, Cube told me to wear my shorts, the same shorts I had on at the table read. Cube was like, wear them on set. You know what I'm
Little.
saying?
Right.
Uh,
It was, and that reminded me of, you know, what our boys said to you.
yeah.
And Cube's another great actor, I must add, because
And
not he
not
wears
only
many hats.
great
He
mind.
could be in the Disney kid films. He could be in your ghetto films. He could
Right.
play the police. I mean, he could do comedy. He could do real life, like higher learning. I mean, Cube is just all over the place. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying?
Yes,
So it's like, let's give it up for, and his directing is cracking. He learned from some of the best, because I'm pretty sure John Singleton, rest in peace, gave him a lot of good game
right.
Mhm.
on that whoop wop. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So, we got a lot. I can't wait to see your upcoming films. I know you got some new things in the midst. Hello.
Let's talk about it.
I got a few things cooking that's nothing etched in stone completely yet, but there's a few things.
That we're
cooking.
gonna pray on.
Yeah. Prayers.
Are
big
you
prayers.
getting out more since A House Divided? Because I know Dan, you played the nun, and then
Yeah.
he just offered you the role that you have now on A House Divided. Congratulations to us. We got picked up for a 4th season.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah.
Yeah. We have to
I'm out
start
here
that.
with you.
this month.
We'll see what happens. But
Huh?
I'm out here with you.
All right. Yeah, I'm so excited for season 4. Like Dan, I haven't seen the script, of course, but Dan been like giving me little tidbits, and my character. Yeah.
She's doing fun
Um,
stuff. So
Yeah.
has that led to an agent, a better agent, any other opportunities?
It
Because
happened at such a weird time with COVID. So it's like
tell me
at
about
the
it.
time my career is accelerating because of the show, everything's on
Right.
hold.
Then everything
So it's
shut
like,
down. Thank you.
yeah. So it's been hard to so I'm like, now that things are, kind of opening up a little bit and whatnot, I feel like
Right.
maybe now I can,
The
make
blessing
some.
is that we've stayed healthy.
Right, exactly.
I
And
think the fact that we've all stayed healthy has definitely helped casting directors know that they can trust that we'll get the job done and stay on our
exactly.
P's and Q's. Because, staying healthy, it isn't by chance. I know we didn't do a whole bunch of kicking it in the streets and,
No,
you know,
not
it's by divine order, of course, but at the same time it's about discipline. And
hmm
not you got 2 little girls. You want to talk
Yeah,
about babies?
I do. So I have an 11-year-old and a 6-year-old. My little
Good job.
baby. Yeah. They my 6-year-old, actually, I went to LA in January working on another project, a show called In the Shadows. And I actually took my 6-year-old with me, and she was so excited. Like that was her first time in LA, and we went to the beach, even though it was COVID, so we couldn't do a
So
whole lot.
what did you do? Congratulations, In the Shadows. That's nice.
Thank
So
you.
what was that? That's not the RZA one? Is that the RZA one?
No, that's actually another Dan thing.
Oh wow, I love it.
Yeah, I'm a baby mama on that.
You might be the next. You might be the next Drew Barrymore, the next Dakota Fanning. You never know.
Speak it. Speak it.
I'm just saying,
Right?
might be the next.
Accepting all of it.
What's her
Yes.
name? Ella Fanning, Dakota's little sister.
Elephant.
Yeah, the sister.
Dakota.
She came in the game out the blue and broke it down.
Oh
Well,
yeah.
as an actress, I know for you, it feels good to know that you know where your next gig is.
Yeah.
And
That's the beauty of being on the House Divided. Like,
right, and especially now with everything that's going on in the universe. And I definitely want us to talk about While We Wait. It may not, I don't know what happened to both our guests. We were gonna put, I don't know what happened to anybody. Derek came in and then disappeared. So the
Right.
show, what must go on. So
Yes.
we're if there's nothing, do you want to talk about something else about your journey, baby? Because you have 15 minutes to just talk about.
I could go all day. Well, as a kid, no, but I guess back to me being a kid and the moving around and whatnot. A lot of people, a lot of their biggest comments to me is, "You're so humble, you're so grounded, you're so da 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 da." And I think that comes from my background. When we moved to California when I was little, we were actually living in homeless shelters and battered women shelters,
Oh,
and
wow.
so I came up like we've been literally homeless for parts of my childhood. And I done lived in like in New Orleans when y'all
Talk
asked where I'm
about
from. I'm
that
like
that
everywhere. I lived
experience
in
of living in battered women's shelters.
I'm glad I was a kid, and I was the type of kid that I just wanted to play with other kids, and I like to be out and about and just like meeting people, and so
So
I
was
had
that
fun. I
something
didn't
that you
realize.
saw? Was your mother abused? Was that
Oh, she did escape a bad marriage that was pretty tumultuous. That's why we went to California in the first place. He was
right?
irate, things were going sour there. So she took, I was 7 years old, my sister was 3 months old. And she had like $100 to her name, something like that. And we got on a Greyhound bus and went to California just like that. And then they lost her luggage. So she ended up having to breastfeed. Luckily, she still had like some breast milk because all the formula and all the stuff was in the
Right,
luggage.
right.
And but I had a blast. It was like a sleepover for me. I didn't really conceptualize that we were homeless. Like I was having fun. So I kudos to my mom, because if it were me as an adult, that's crazy, as an adult trying to figure
But
that
I
out. And where we gonna
understand what
sleep.
you're saying, how it gave you a sense of appreciation
Yeah,
for
yeah.
everything that you've received, everything you are going to receive, and what you're in the midst of receiving as we speak. And that is something that can't be bought. And it shows through your characters. So we kind of skipped around a lot, but I'm more interested in your journey as a professional actress on a winning show, because for all intents and purposes our show is winning.
It is.
Was it what you expected it to be?
I don't even know what my expectations were. Like I've been at it so long. Um, I've always just been like, I just want to work. I just want to be working. So
Right.
I didn't really even have expectations. I'm like, if I could just regularly be regular, I wanted a recurring role. I wanted to be regularly working, and I got that, and it feels good, and I'm happy. Like I
And
don't even.
sex scenes,
Oh, the
because your sex scenes are some of I can't even get it out, honey. I know Keisha gonna be on the set next season. Cause honey, I know I would.
Hey, Paula, what kind of scenes?
Huh, baby?
What kind of scenes?
intimate,
Oh
intimate
my
scenes.
goodness.
You
Oh,
are not watching
hey, Paula.
all
Hey,
black.
what a way to describe it. What kind of scenes? Intimate. Good job. You learned well. I mean, you understand me? Give them that game then.
Intimacy on my favorite was on the car. The
Oh my God. Get it then.
the roof of the car.
The hood.
The hood.
And that car, that was what was that, a Lambo? And they had like a slanted hood. So the whole while I'm like, because I'm like sliding off. And he's like having to hold me up without making it look like I'm sliding off. And the whole while I'm like, don't drop me. But I gotta look sexy at the same time. And I'm like, please don't drop me. Like,
So first season, was that your first sex scene?
Yes, ever in my life.
I kind of somehow, I don't know how I ended up like walking by and seeing. I don't know how that happened. But baby,
I don't know how that happened. I just stumbled across it.
But I was
walking, lo and behold,
walked in and said, "Oops, my bad. What's going on up in here? What y'all doing?
Oops." Oops.
And then we all outside. All the scenes are like outside. I don't think about it. We just
But it was the most graphic scene. Maybe because I was standing there. But when we saw it on TV, it wasn't what it looked like. Like I remember thinking, oh my baby, that's her first sex scene. And it was like on a table and y'all just went for it. And
Hey, do
it
you
was
have any ideas, Paula? Did you go
beautiful. I
home?
mean, standing there, I was like, wow. Like,
Did you go home and attack Forrest? What you do?
of course I did. Like
It was like, hey, come here. Let me talk to you. I got
I
something
don't
to
think I
talk
went.
to you
I might
about.
have gone up and been like, hey baby, get it ready, cuz.
Get it cracking. Hey, look, make sure the table is set. I got something I want to show you.
But
Make
they're
sure the legs are
very
strong.
respectful. It is
Hope
a
your legs
closed
are strong.
set. It's a closed set. I don't know how honestly I rolled up on it. I just think it was God. And then y'all can say what y'all want to say about what God, the blessings God give you, but I know the blessings my God give me. And I don't know how I ended up.
She was outside by the trailer, right? AD, she was outside by the trailer and said, you know what? I'm finna go outside
I'm
and have
probably
a smoke. She
doing,
said, where's the
I
exit?
spoke my
And then she came into that scene right there.
That's probably what it was. But I was just impressed with your courage, number one, because I've never done anything like that. And I've been in the game 30 years. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's fearless. And your fearlessness. So then the sex scenes progressed into threesomes.
Yeah.
That was
I mean,
beautifully shot. I mean, I was never repulsed by not one of your, like, I never felt, and I'm a nerd. Like, I've seen some sex scenes and be like, oh, wow, you know, I don't see that, you know, but it's the way that it's shot. It's so pretty that
yeah.
you guys are like, I want you all to be a couple three. A three couple.
Thruple. That's what Steph calls it, a thruple.
But I don't know how that's gonna work because
Right.
you know we don't want to give away too much, but we don't know who your baby daddy is. So
I'm going to season one, man. I'm going to season
you
one.
got to.
Oh,
I
you
can't
have
believe you're
to.
not on a house divided. Everybody, if you are not on a house divided, you're missing.
Binge watch it.
You're
Binge
missing
watch
your
all
life.
that.
So it is time to go ahead and start talking about what's been going on with the George Floyd trial. I don't know if you guys have been watching. I've been very, very sad myself watching Kurupt. Have you been watching any of it?
I'm appalled.
What are your thoughts, sweetie?
I haven't. I mean, I know what happened to him and everything, and I get so bothered. I know it's bad. You should keep up with these things, but it just triggers me and bothers me so bad that I'm like, I'll just see the results when I see them because it never ends up fair. It's always aggravating shit. It's like watching them. I don't watch sports. Like you get aggravated, you get into it. I'm like, I don't even feel like going through the journey of getting aggravated. Like I just hear the, whatever the results are going to be, whatever the sentence is.
Yeah, it hurts my feelings.
Yeah, right. That's the whole way through. I'm just gonna be like, you really gonna believe this shit? You really what? Like it just infuriates me. So
I'm gonna be honest, man. Babe, break that down about the kid, man.
No.
This is my wife, Lee Gotti. Man, break it down about the kid.
Okay, we got Derek in the house.
About time. You finished taking the boo-boo?
What's up, mama? How y'all doing today?
Hi.
So he says, I'm really in the studio this time. I don't want
See, the thing about Derek D,
I'm working,
we never
mama.
know where he's at. We never know where he's at, so we always wonder, where are you at this time, Derek? We don't
I
know
like
where
those
he's at.
paintings. Those that me.
Huh?
Good guy.
I got everybody in the studio.
This is Dominique.
Hi.
Everybody here.
Break it down about the kid. Derek, get out the studio. You ain't new to this shit. Get the fuck away from the music. You on candid camera, nigga. Beat it.
Don't beat it. Stay. Just mute yourself. Okay, Lily.
It off. I was just saying.
No, I was saying with the George Floyd, so I caught a glimpse of what the boy that took the counterfeit
Yes,
money.
a Judea.
Yeah, and he was saying how, he was up and he was, giving he was testifying, and he said, he felt so guilty.
Oh, you mean the guy, you're talking about the guy who called.
Right.
Who
'Cause he
called on
said,
him.
if I had never called, this wouldn't happen. And he said, I felt so bad. He said, he felt like he was guilty for George Floyd's
Now,
death.
when we all first heard about that, we have to be honest, we all were a little like, I thought it was a white man. I thought it was a Karen,
Right. And it wasn't.
Why are you calling on a damn $20 bill?
Right.
But let's be honest, it was his job.
Yeah.
He was new on the job. He was young, and he was going by protocol.
Right.
But like you said, he even was appalled by what happened afterwards.
Yeah.
So he called his boss.
Yeah.
And the boss called the cops.
Right.
Like, so all of that lets me know that, I feel bad that he has to carry that.
Right.
But he did the right thing.
He should have called the police.
Well,
you ain't
he
got to
did.
call your boss to call the police. You see
Well, he
something
called
going
the
on?
police. The police came and put their knee on George Floyd right in front of his.
He
store,
called the police
right in front of that store.
Yes.
He called his boss, and the boss called the police, but the kid was the one that accepted the $20. It was counterfeit money, and so that's how it all kind of.
Called his boss, and the boss called the police on
right. So the kid felt like when he was up there on the stand, he was like, man, I feel guilty. Like, I feel like it's my fault, because like he said, it's over $20 counterfeit money that this man, all of this.
Yeah, to be honest with you,
happened.
because me personally, I go in and out with it. Lily stays more on it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I was listening to it, and I'm like, I actually was feeling like this guy, I thought that this guy was the one who saw the police tripping, and
yes,
like, sometimes you got to call the police on the police. Like, hey, man,
he wasn't the only one.
But no, he was the one that called. He called his boss. His boss called the police. To tell you the truth, that's protocol. The police is the ones that's held accountable for this.
Yeah.
Right.
And the bottom line is they knew what they were doing. The whole thing reminds me of Do the Right Thing. Okay, what was his name? Radio Raheemed him.
Yeah.
You understand me? They knew what they was doing, and they did wrong. And it's time for them to accept the responsibilities for their actions. Ain't that what they say about criminals? They ain't nothing but criminals.
Exactly.
Corrupt. There was a man who testified. I don't remember his name. I call him Dimple because he had a big old dimple, who was an MMA fighter / security guard who stood there and watched the whole thing from beginning to end. And in addition to being an MMA fighter and a security guard, he was the first witness. So his history of fighting, he was aware of the hold that the cop was using on George Floyd. So he was saying there was a shimmy. So he was able to be an expert witness based on the fact that he was aware of the holds and the techniques. Now, they were trying to exclude him as just being a security guard. But my question to you is, we both know security guards, number one, 9 times out of 10 is cops.
Right.
Number two, 9 times out of 10 train with cops, because if you're a cop, you still have to have your security license.
Right.
And 9 times out of 3 are trained by cops. So can you attest to the reasons why he was a credible witness as a security guard?
I mean, totally he was a credible witness. He saw the crime. That's number one. Number two, as a security guard, he's held by the honor of the flashlight cop badge shit. You know, understand me?
It's so beautiful you said that, because his first instinct was to honor them as cops. He looked under Mr. Tao, Mr. Chavon. You know, he was very respectful initially. Yes.
And you know, the thing is that he's very credible because he is a security guard, and
They tried
therefore
to discredit him.
he can't go up on the stand and perjure himself. He
Right.
knows the law, and therefore what he has to say, he knows the consequences and repercussions if he says anything that's out of pocket. Another thing he knows, that is if he do tell the truth and it goes against the police, he understands the ramifications of that. So if he's got enough heart,
Of that be
if
as
he has enough heart to go up there and say the police was wrong, of course you have to take his credibility in there. It ain't like he's mad at the police. Shit, he has the same job they have, basically.
right. That's right.
He has to uphold the law.
That's right.
So, you know, if he speaks, it's very credible.
Right. Okay.
So, I mean, that's the thing, man. I mean, this is an open and shut case.
But it's not
Yeah,
being
yeah.
open and shut. And that's what I think
That's
is
the annoying part. It should be. It should be so simple. Like,
shouldn't even be a case to me.
right.
Now, I want to ask you, Dom, since you know, had spoke up. This same man, I call Dimple. I'm sorry, I don't know your name, Dimple. But
Dimple Lowe.
you got a big old dimple. This same man was also chastised for taunting the officer. The officer said that, or it was on record that I think he might have called him something, a punk or a coward or a bitch, like
He
17
was doing some punk shit.
Well, the law is, check this out. You don't go to jail for calling somebody out their name, including.
Well, they're trying to say that Officer Chauvin was intimidated by this man taunting him and calling him a bitch 14 times, calling him a coward, you know, calling him out of his name, blah, blah, blah. And this is the reason why he continued to do the shimmy.
As opposed to stopping.
But that's illegal. See, basically, you're a criminal. You can't control your emotions.
Right,
Rule
right.
101 as law enforcement is to be different than the civilians and criminals. Number
Right.
one,
Protocol is protocol.
you have to control your anger. It's
Well,
protocol.
did you see
You have to
the
control your
videotape?
temper.
Did
your
you see
anger.
the videotape?
No, I haven't. I'm glad I haven't. I just been watching the Woo
Derek,
Box.
have you seen the videotape?
Yeah, I seen it.
So did he look controlled in his actions to you, Officer Chauvin?
He looked at control, but he wasn't letting nobody near him.
Well, he looked directly in Dimple's eyes
Yeah.
as he took that man's life.
Yeah.
As if to say,
Yes, he did.
and Dimples also said that Detective or Officer Tao also told him, this is what happens when you use drugs.
So that's very calculated and
Wow.
controlled. Like, you have your senses in order to say all that. It's not a passionate, I'm scared, I'm freaking out. Like, no.
I'm confused. So when let's start with drug abuse is a disease.
Mm-hmm.
You know, maybe the first time is possibly a choice, but who chooses to be addicted to drugs? It's a disease. It is not a choice. So for an officer to tell you this is what happens when you do drugs, number one, it sounds to me racist.
Yeah.
What happens to all people that do drugs? Because I ain't never seen no white lady with her neck.
Well, see, that also goes to the discipline. See, it's all discipline. Being a law enforcement officer, you know, that was a personal opinion. As a law enforcement officer, your personal opinions
Don't matter.
exactly.
You're here to enforce
You're
the
there
law.
to uphold the law. Therefore, it does not require your personal views. If you don't like Jews, if you are the police, if you're the police, you don't like Jews. They killed one of your family members before. Now,
So
your
this
family member got killed by a Jewish person.
Right.
You do your job without bias. I'm
Right.
pretty sure that these are part of the questions that they ask you, like being a juror. Can you do your job without biasness towards this nationality, towards this race, towards this religion, towards this whoop wop? Because you got to do thorough background checks on people in order for them to be law enforcement, in order for them to be a juror. So the bottom line is, that's not what you do. You don't give your personal opinion. So, hey, this is what happens when you're on drugs. It's a personal opinion. It has nothing to do with the law. It has nothing to do with his job. He needs to go to jail. He needs to meet the people we put in jail. Let's see how he like it.
Yeah.
There's a chokehold with his name on it.
Right. Like,
Right.
like
I called him a bitch. Is he gonna take me to jail too? You fucking bitch. You bitch.
this is what happens
You
when
punk.
you're
You
on
fucking bitch.
drugs.
Oh shit! Now I gotta look
That's
outside my
terrible.
door.
That's so like you said, it's just it's systematic of the thinking that too many officers have, that think it's okay to criminalize people for drug abuse. So let's move on to the little girl, the actual little girl or boy, Judea. I want to say it was a little girl who testified, a 9-year-old. It was less than a year. She hasn't turned 10 yet, but she will very soon if she hasn't by now. So she testified at 9 years old to witnessing a man die. And it broke my heart. Do you think, Lily, that it was necessary to put a 9-year-old on trial or on the stand?
I think that seeing it was traumatic. I also do think that with that age and with children, they're still innocent. So they're still truthful. Most things. And they haven't learned like this is the law and this is the, this is who I shouldn't say this, I shouldn't say this. They're honest and they just speak. And when you get them up there and you ask them questions, it just goes naturally. So I think, yeah. And that was something that they should have done. They should have
If
put
it was your baby, how would you have felt about all of the above?
I would have felt like, one, I would have been really sad that her innocence as a child, having to witness that, was stolen. The second thing is, I would feel as a parent to, yes, put my child up on there. So because part of that is therapeutic for her.
Yes,
that's
to be
true.
able to speak it out.
Yeah.
Not feel like, I have to keep this in. I can't talk about it because, that is what a lot of people do with their children too. It's like, hey, you don't talk about this, you keep this, you hush, hush.
Right.
Keeping her too. And hopefully with my own child, use that in your own life. Maybe you will become something better for society because of what you've gone through as a child, because you had to get up there, you had to speak it, you got it out. Now grow from that.
What about you, Dom? What would you like? You got 2 little girls.
Yeah. I think I would, for the reasons that she said, and to, like she said, because the child is going to be so truthful and so, open and honest, hopefully hopefully my child can aid in getting the right thing to happen. Now if this was some street gang stuff and I'm scared they're gonna kill my child for being a witness, no, I'm sorry, you're not gonna.
But both of you are right, because there's a child psychologist that's one of the jurors, and she was very touched by the fact that Judea was able to take the stand as maturely as she did as a 9-year-old.
Yeah.
There was also an elder man who totally broke everyone's heart. Did anyone catch the elder man? Well, he was like, I guess in his late, I don't know how old he was, but he was pretty old, and everyone started crying because of him. So what about the woman who was an EMT, and she called, they had her on record saying, don't think I'm a snitch, or I have the quote, let me see, it's you can call me a snitch if you want to, but I'm sitting here watching this on video because, you know, there's the video that the streets have and the video that the cop car has. And whatever video, she was able to see this live. And as I think she was a paramedic, maybe the 911 caller. She was the 911 dispatcher. I'm sorry. And she felt guilty. That, like, we were never supposed to hear this recording, but she said, you can call me a snitch. But Derek, what do you think about that? You can call me a snitch, but they're murdering somebody. Really, boo-boo? That's how fearful you are of doing the right thing? Derek, are you there? You're on mute, babe. No.
Nah, I don't think that's right at all. You know?
What does that mean if somebody says you can call me a snitch, but I'm gonna tell anyway? What is she really saying about?
She really snitching. It's still a snitch, like, you
Is
know.
it snitching when someone is murdering someone?
Nah,
Why?
it ain't no
Why
snitch.
has she got a fear of snitching on her own? Because clearly that lets me know that the cops, 911, EMTs,
And everyone's in cahoots.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
there ain't no
fire
snitch.
department are all in cahoots.
Yeah, because if somebody killing me, I want somebody to say something.
Snitch on the motherfucker for me.
Yeah.
Don't
Straight
even
up.
be, I don't even want you to be like, this may be snitching. Snitch. Nigga, when this ain't no, you ain't no damn, what the fuck you think this is?
Yeah.
This ain't no mob hit.
Right.
And you going to get relocated to Jersey? What is wrong with you? You watching this nigga get murdered and you like, don't call me a snitch, but
Man, listen, I want somebody to tell. They be like, they trucking that fat ass nigga.
I
You know
feel
what I mean? Come and get me.
I feel
You know?
bad for the system that allows that type of unity to go against the people, because that's why we are where we are, because they're so locked into protecting each other that they are not protecting us, and that's their motherfucking job.
Protect and serve. That's literally the same.
Pisses me off. I'm sorry. So then we have they counted, he said I can't breathe 27 times in 9 minutes.
Oh my
How many
God.
seconds? 27 times.
Right. But Paula, if that was you and I in the street and you were doing that hold on me, there would be no question if it was murder.
Honey, if it was
regardless,
the street, I'd be under the jail.
Right. There would
It'd
be
be
no,
done.
but there would be no question of, well, yeah, but she was on drugs or she was drunk or she was, there would
Or
be.
Paula was antagonized. That's why she
Right.
did it.
It's the
Right.
difference
Oh, Derek was
because
over there calling me this and calling
let's
me
say I
that.
was a cop though,
It wouldn't matter.
or let's say you were a cop,
Yeah.
or I was a cop, and I had my neck on you or whatever.
Right.
And does that make it okay? Because I watched there's this new show on, and there was this black man in the CVS, and there was this little white girl, and she was gonna steal a cup of makeup. This black man from Africa tussled this little white girl down, honey, like she has stole his makeup. He was not letting this little white girl leave the premises with a little makeup, and the white girl was like, I'm not, it was just hard to watch. And he was within his legal rights to detain. Oh, that's okay, B. Still come through. Oh, it's still come through. This is Bentley, y'all. Still come through. Hell no, we ain't done. We waiting on you. Waiting on you. these nails, y'all. And I'm looking dyslexic. I got fat finger syndrome. What your friend say? FFS. So it all come out crazy. But yes, you know, what was we just talking about? Y'all know mama get dyslexic and kind of
The black
Talking about the show.
the white girl with the makeup.
yeah,
the black
so
girl.
it was hard for me to watch the way he took this woman down. But he was in his legal rights to do this. So my question becomes, what are our legal rights as officers and gentlemen? Because it seems to me like the line has blurred.
Oh yeah.
Are we still officers and gentlemen? Are we still on the same side? Are you still trying to protect? And then we look at what happened today. And I understand how officers feel threatened. But I also looked at
Okay.
what happened.
What
at the
happened
Capitol
today, Miss
building.
Paula?
Baby,
What
today
happened?
someone drove into the Capitol building barricade. It's a brick, a stone, a concrete barricade with the word stop written on it. Dude just crashed into it, jumped out the car with a knife, stabbed one cop to death, and another is wounded. Did the second cop die? I think it's fatally wounded. The cops shot him up. So we don't know who he was, why he was, what he was, but it's something going on right now that's just not fair, that is trying to divide our country in ways that it shouldn't be. Like Park, you know, the little 21-year-old congresswoman who just tried to knock on the Congress door at the Capitol.
Got arrested.
She got arrested.
Got arrested.
But 5,100 white folks can knock the door down, kick
Right.
their legs up, eat fried chicken and watermelon, and go home.
Right.
But Park there by right, by her governing right that we voted for.
Yep.
So that these 7, 8, probably 9, because that's the devil's number, 9 men sit up under a damn plantation and sign a damn bill in a damn locked door on some bullshit. Y'all want to get nobody pizza and water. Can't nobody have pizza and water after why you can't have pizza and water after thing?
Right.
Why is that against the law to have pizza and water at the voting? It's ridiculous.
Yeah, don't make
Okay,
no sense.
so let's move on to this because my baby called, but he's having some family issues. So we're going to understand because we all got families. So now it seems like they're trying to say, of course, the defense, I guess, that he did not die from necessarily the knee to the neck.
Oh, okay.
It was a cardiac arrest.
That didn't have anything to do with a knee on the neck.
So they brought in the
stress
EMT.
on the body, the stress on the.
So they brought in the EMT. So this was my issue because I understand how it is to be the prosecutor. So she was trying to get the EMT to say he was dead, but he wasn't allowed to say dead. So she went through all kinds of dramatics, explaining the flat line, explaining the cardiac machine. Why couldn't you use the cardiac machine? Because the nigga was dead.
Because it wouldn't have done any good.
But the defense is trying with all their might to prove that his death was a cardiac arrest or so Van
cardiac arrest comes from stress.
Right.
Right,
So they're saying
right.
he would have just had a heart attack anyway. Like if none of that would have happened, he would
So
just
they're
walked out
trying
the
to
store and
say
had a
no,
heart
it
attack
was
and
the
died.
drugs and the that made the cardiac arrest.
Well, and you know, then
Put
he's
the knee
not
on the neck.
breathing. So you need oxygen to actually help
Come on
go
now.
through the blood flow through the heart. So if you're not
Exactly.
getting oxygen, your blood's not flowing right through your heart. So you're gonna go into
And
cardiac
this is
arrest.
the insanity we're watching. So the guy finally just said he was dead. That's why I did not use the defibrillator or whatever the machine is called.
So
Why
he
you
finally
gonna
said
use
it.
it on the dead man? So then he told us this nigga Chauvin tried to get in the damn ambulance.
For what?
Dead men don't talk, to make sure the job was finished.
Mhm.
Why are you trying to get in the ambulance? I'm confused. I don't understand why you think you didn't kill the man with your knee. Now you want to get in the ambulance to save his life?
When does a cop ever wanted to get into an ambulance?
Right. I've never heard of that.
Never. And so
Oh, because they have to stay and do their.
they were upset because he
investigation.
wouldn't let the cop on the ambulance. Like, how do you know he couldn't have helped fix him? He like, what?
That's what the ambulance people are there for. That's their job. You've done enough, sir. You've done
So
enough.
then the damn defense man gonna say, well, he's trained in helping. And so EMT was like, yeah, anybody could do this. I get it, I know. And then he gonna say, well, don't you just put your 2 fingers and a thumb to check his pulse? Do you like, what are you? That's your cross defense? Well, he could have checked a finger and a. Well, why didn't he check the finger and the pulse when he had his hands in his pockets and his knee on the man's neck? I propose it was on some freaky deaky. Who put their hands in their pocket, they knee on somebody's neck, and then stare a cute black man with a dimple in his cheek, in the eyes, while you shimmy somebody to death?
Hey, you never know.
I know. Never know, and he a liar, and he gonna tell you. He ain't gonna tell you never know, because that's my baby. She ain't nobody's devil. She knows she's just trying to be nice, because she knows. I'm just gonna say what she think it is, because I don't care what these people other think. So the girlfriend, what y'all think? Did anybody know about the girlfriend? He was dating for over a year, a white girl, very good looking white woman, thick, pretty, cute little haircut, put together well. And she said they did have drug addiction issues. She really humanized him to me by letting us know that y'all have to. This is for the role, so don't judge mama under armpits. It's for the
It look
role.
clear. It look clear to me.
I can't. Yeah, it looked fine over here.
Well, so what do y'all think about that? That first of all, Derek, what happened to Kurupt?
He's right here.
Kurupt, what you think about that? His woman was a white woman. Did that surprise you? Because I was a tinge bit surprised.
George Floyd's girlfriend's a white woman, and she was talking about him and how they did have drug addiction issues, and she was
And
talking
they
about
were
how to
healing.
humanize them, is what Paul is saying. So she's wanting to know what you think about that.
Would that surprise you, or does that give you a different look at him because he was dating a white woman at his death? What is that, or does it humanize him? Because she did say they were working towards healing.
Well, the type of woman that he was with is irrelevant. Being on drugs is irrelevant if he wasn't violent. While I was gone, I watched the whole thing on tape. I just seen the entire thing. Floyd didn't call them out their name. All he was saying was, I'm claustrophobic. He didn't want to get in there. It was the people on the side that was calling him a punk.
And that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
Dimple. That's Dimples.
Right. And
That's
the thing
what
about it is,
saying,
police can't use what Dimple says as a reason for why they harm
Yes,
him.
babe. And
No.
that's what they're doing, though. They're
Right.
saying that it's Dimple's fault that he killed him because Dimples kept running off at the mouth.
And the
That's
thing
okay.
is,
We can all have a third party reason.
He wanted to
Yeah.
kill Dimple.
and the thing is, that's false, and that ain't real. They had the man's life in their hands, and they applied pressure to where they're the police. They're supposed to know when enough is enough. The bottom line, he didn't want to get in the car. There was other ways to get
I'm
that.
so glad you brought that up, because are you aware that the state that happened in a year before had prevented officers, someone died in the same exact chokehold.
That's in Minnesota, right?
Yes,
Right.
thank you, baby. And died the same exact way. So they prohibited that specific death hold for the cops.
That's self-explanatory right there. Now that's self-explanatory.
So
If they prohibited it, and then this man,
In case closed.
if they prohibited it, right? Let's just add up the mathematics of this. Everything's mathematically added up. If they prohibit it, that means that it's against the law to do it, correct?
Period.
So the police broke the law.
Period.
So they need to go to jail.
I don't know why it's all of this.
Multiple reasons.
Yes, he did.
That
Go
one
straight
guy
to
needs to
jail.
go to jail. The rest
Round
of them,
trip ticket straight to jail.
I don't know about them, but I know the man who killed that man needs to go to prison, because if it was anybody else, he'd be in jail. And that's the bottom line.
Right, exactly.
What makes this man different? Because he's the police, or he's afraid for his life? You do these type of dire measures when you are afraid for your life, and it's shown that your life was in jeopardy. His life was in jeopardy. The man that taken to jail was on the ground, and he was handcuffed. He couldn't move. They had him. There's so many other ways to get that man in that car, or just don't get him in the car. Let him stay down there. You're going to stay down here till we get a car you can get in, because they got paddy wagons.
Now, what did you
They
think?
got bigger vehicle to get this big man in, because he was a big guy. So they can't use his size either. You know what I'm saying? They can't use his size. You guys are trained for this.
Okay, well, first of all, what did you think about what you heard Dimple saying? All of the antagonism, because it is being used as he incited something, or the fact that he said things to Floyd like just get in the car.
I'm a lawyer by trade.
I know you are. You're a lawyer.
So the lawyer in me, I eat this case up. This man would be
Right.
so fast in the flash. It's so sick, because I would disregard all that garbage. You understand me? Oh, it was the other guy. I eat him up. Hopefully, the bottom line is hopefully the jurors will see what it is, because that's where the bottom line comes.
So I'm curious, Kurupt.
This guy needs to go to jail. He
Maybe you
was
all can answer.
he broke his own law.
Why aren't they bringing up the fact that the two men knew each other prior to this altercation?
Because they are protecting something. Now, what I want to do is give a line to these polices, the captain and the whole Minnesota jurisdiction, wherever they from. Where's it at?
Minnesota.
Yeah, Minnesota police. Look, we know you're trying to protect your own. You're trying to look like people are, he was doing his job. You're trying to uphold that blue badge. That blue whoop wop, the blue suit and the badge and the honor. But here's where, even in gangbanging, when one of your fellow gang members is out of pocket to a certain extent, you condition your own.
Right.
Well, your own needs to be conditioned here. He broke the law in many ways. If this man was to walk, this does not show anything in positivity
the
about
most
police
time he can get
out there in Minnesota. He needs to be held accountable for what he did, because we're sure that if this guy is on your force, you have many others like him on your force. But clean out your own backyard. Clean up your backyard and do the right thing.
The most he can get is 10 years. What do you think about that, Tom?
The most?
Give him 10 years. Give him 10 years. Let him get in there. Trust me. Give him 10 years. Let him get up in there.
Wait,
it'll feel like forever.
Right.
If he can make it out.
I don't know, but
hello.
Of course, the charge exactly.
10 years. What is it? Not mass.
They're saying 10 years is the max. That's what came on Court TV today.
Is it mass?
He need life. He need
He's
life.
life, but hey, man, give him the 10
Life.
years and let the system deal with him.
That's penalty, an eye for an eye. You know, that's the only way we're going to get their attention and to make
Well, see, the only reason why
murdering
I'm not,
us
the only
the
reason
name of the
why,
law.
the only reason why I'm not rolling with that is because, you know, to be God-fearing like we are, Paula, that's not the key.
But it says in the Bible, an eye for an eye.
Right. And it also say thou shalt not kill. So, I mean, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's a real thin line between love
Yes,
and
babe,
hate.
I know
okay?
your point.
Right. So, you know, we don't want to, you know what? He
Yes,
did this,
and I
so
appreciate
therefore
it.
this happens.
Because I don't want to see that either. I don't want to see
Yeah.
Siobhan
Let's give him,
a
he
martyr.
needs to go to jail. You know what I'm saying? That's the bottom line. And don't give him no punk time. But
So-
10 years is what they going to give him. Let his ass get up in there. He's got a lot more to deal with if he's behind that wall than he does being in court. or
Yeah,
all the
jump
rest of
on
this
now.
stuff. Let him get in there with those people in there. I'm sure they got something to talk to him about. Put him in general population.
Yeah, no fancy fed prison. No cupcake, pancake, fed shit.
Let him
Real,
come kick it with the homies.
real prison.
Because, you know, he got, yeah, man.
Population, that's
what's
right.
wrong, man. And he, you know, they wouldn't let anybody, and I understand he's the police, all that fear for my life shit. We're over that.
They all
We
say that.
understand the cop out. We're over that. We've seen the cop out many a times. Come on, aren't we all tired of it? White people, aren't you tired of it? Justice system, aren't you tired of it? Come up with a new one, man. This one has been used. It's burnt out. What do you call it, babe? Motherfucker uses so much, my nigga. It's just, come on, man.
Right.
Stop it.
I
Let's get it together. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna call Minnesota tomorrow, okay? And I'm gonna talk to the DA, okay, and and give the DA some pointers because he needs some of this nigger game. Okay, understand me? Do you want another riot? What's more important? This man is a riot.
do you think that I don't know
I'm just
what
fucking with
who killed the cop and today? Do you think that might have had anything to do with what this trial as possibly the eye for an eye that person might have thought was never going to happen?
I
Or
don't know, because first of
opinion.
all, this is
I'm
a
going to ask everybody's opinion. What do you think?
this is a black crime, basically. This is a crime against the minority. That's basically what it is. If this was a white guy that was bringing up all this fuss and all this whoop wop, they'd have figured it out. That's number one. I'm a firm believer in that. Remember, it's only my opinion. It's not fact.
But that's
you know, basically this right here, to say that this could have a reflect on, I mean, this was done because of this means that whatever it is, the guy who stabbed that police would have to be black. We don't know if he was black. So therefore, like we said earlier,
is white.
ain't no white man going to go to bat for us like that. You know what? Niggas killed a nigga. I'm white, okay?
So if he's
I'm
white,
gonna go kill me a police because they killed a nigga. Nah.
so if he's white, then why? Is it more about the Capitol building?
We don't know.
And
remember what we said earlier, we need more information.
We have more protection for the Capitol building after the drama that happened, you know, with the Proud People. Like, why didn't they tighten up on that security?
Well, evidently they didn't learn.
But they arrested Little Park.
Right, but they this guy's dead, so you know the whole thing about it is until we get more information, we really can't make no assessment.
We can't talk about that one. That's what we just said. So we're waiting for Bentley to jump on in. Everyone, he said, give him 5. I'm very excited about this.
Bentley got that game
coming in because he about to really help us out with that game. I wanted to make sure that I did take I did take some notes on every single person. Did I miss anything, babe? The lady prosecutor, I kind of felt she was a little too much going on trying to make the man.
I don't even know why they gave her. I don't even know why they gave her this case. Okay,
I don't know either. You got to give it to a lady, honey. You know how it is.
Well, if you're gonna give it to a lady, give it to a lady that's built for it, man. There's plenty of ladies that's built for this game right here. Look at yourself. They should have gave the case to you. We have better results.
Thank you. And I got questions and I got better facts.
Right. You understand me?
I understand this world. So what do we do to improve the relations? Because I keep going back to I'm not a snitch. You know, that keeps ringing in my ears that
The 911 operator said, I'm not a snitch. I don't want to be looked at like a snitch, but you know, somebody's just is getting murdered.
911 operator said that?
Right.
What do you mean?
So
Exactly.
that was
The 911 operator
called and said, yo, I'm not a snitch, but call the police on the police. I'm not a snitch was her first words. I don't want to snitch, but I don't think they're handling it right. This man.
I'm snitching. Anybody that hurt any of
Yeah,
my
but
family
see, that's
members, I'm telling.
irrelevant. 'Cause that's
I'm
not
like, get
snitching.
off my family.
What that lady said, whoever it was, that's a distraction from the facts.
That was the
No, for me, my point.
Whoever it was, it's a distraction from the facts. I don't give a fuck what she said. But she said that you need to fix this because the police is handling it wrong. That's the only thing we need to concentrate on. I'm not a snitch is irrelevant.
But my issue is for her to feel like a snitch, that means that not only are the police protecting each other, but so is 911, EMT, fire department. And for her to feel some type of way and call it snitching. She didn't say, oh, I don't want to get in the way or I don't want to disrupt. She said, and she never knew anyone would ever hear this again. That's scary to me to know that we don't only need to readjust the mindset of our police officers, but we've got to fix the mindset of them all.
Our emergency.
Her to feel fear.
Well, I mean, you know, we got to deal with mathematics though. I mean, it just seems like there's no real mathematics here. Look, she's an operator for who? The telephone company?
No.
Operator.
They're all emergency responders.
For what? Healthcare?
So they're all one big clique.
You better believe it.
So,
and that's just the bottom line, okay? If you work for AT&T, okay, you work for AT&T. Y'all one family. That's just
so forget if I don't have no phone service. I don't want to snitch. I cut her phone off, but
no, I don't have. You ain't got phone service. I don't want to snitch, but my boss did it. Because that's basically what it is. 911 operator. The boss is the police. So you see what I'm saying? She told on the boss. And I don't even understand why she used the word snitch. Snitch is for the streets. That's when you telling somebody in a street situation.
That's my point as well.
You know what I'm saying? So, but see, she can't tell us something we don't already know. We don't need proof of that. That's my point. I mean, what do we need her, this snitching shit, for us to know that if you are a 911 operator, you're with the police, and that is it.
But now we know.
You're not going to help me. You're going to help the police.
She let me know that. I didn't know that if I call 911 because the cops are outside my house, that she gonna be scared to snitch, and the cops gonna come to my house like Miss Brianna.
Well, you know, well, at least you know now, because I've been knew that. Everybody knows you call 911, it's a joke. Flavor Flav said it back in the day. 911's a joke. Come on, man. He didn't say that for no reason. I dialed 911 just a day ago. These motherfuckers, you know what I'm saying? Everybody knows 911 is a joke. And this is the first person. Hey, look, she needs to be commemorated. She's the first one that broke 911 protocol. She said, look, man, hey, look, she's like cuz from American Gangster. You know, found a trunk with $1 million in it, nigga, and gave it back to the
about doing it. That to me means she's been bullied. If she has fear about doing the right thing, there's a problem in the system. If she is being hailed as courageous for doing the right thing,
that's right.
There's a crack in the system.
She said it, but she said, you know what? That's why we don't want to look at I don't want to be a snitch. That's irrelevant. The lady stood up and did the right thing, and that is it. She needs to be commemorated. So we need to give it up for her and instead of concentrating on her language. And also the knowledge of the 911 being corrupted. If the police is corrupted, 911 is corrupted, period.
Okay,
You know
so
what I'm
what
saying? And
about
the fire trucks, I'll tell you the truth about them as well, man. They are with that system, so they corrupted. All the motherfuckers is corrupted.
so we're finding out about this corruption because it's God's will.
Mhm.
Because we also wouldn't have known that any other EMT driver, if we weren't in this situation, he'd have left that nigga on the damn truck. He'd have been like, okay, come on in. What you want?
Well, I'm gonna be honest with you.
So he's in the mix too, Kurupt? He's corrupt too?
Hey, look, let me break it down like this.
He's supposed to be
See,
safe.
I knew before Flavor Flav put out 911's a joke.
But
So
now
therefore, that's how long ago I knew 911 was cracking. I didn't need this lady. All she did was made me say, good job. Finally, somebody broke it down from the inside. Because we already know 911 is a fucking joke.
Ambulance and fire department is a joke too.
All of them motherfuckers is connected.
So what the
That's
hell
why
are we
in
doing?
certain things, I mean, I know you heard stories, motherfucker dying and shit, the ambulance get there 50 years later and shit.
Uh-oh.
Because it's in a black neighborhood.
Big
Mhm.
money. Big
It's in a
money
Mexican
in
neighborhood.
the house.
There go the game right there.
What up with it?
I mean, hey, baby. I mean, we just chopping this game, but now we on to a new game. Again, y'all are tuning in, Paula J and Kurupt. This is the forum. You dig what I'm saying? Why we call it that, Paula?
Person, my boss, the one and only. Kurupt. Who is it? Bentley Evans.
That bent what?
Bentley, this
Hello.
is Dominique. You know,
Hi.
Dominique.
beautiful wife.
Dominique.
And this is Derek.
What's
We
up,
missed
D? How you
you,
doing,
darling.
champ?
I hope everything is okay at
What's going
home.
on, bro?
Everything is okay now. I'm all good. I'm right here with you. Let me ask you a question. Is my reception good? Is my reception good?
Yes, you look great. You sound great. Yes.
Well, then
So,
it's all
sir,
great.
can
Then
we-
it's all great.
I've been wanting to interview you since I met you. Can we, only because you drop so much wisdom on a
Oh,
daily.
yeah.
I feel like the world needs to know. Like, you need to write a book. You need your own podcast. You're Leo and you're genius. Can you tell us how the heck, please tell the story about how you and Martin just made it, just initially made it happen. The initial making of it happen together.
Oh, shoot. You know, it's funny because at the time that I met Martin, I was doing the whole acting thing. You remember, Paula, when I was acting? Do you remember when I was acting? I was acting.
Wasn't out here yet. I missed the whole Martin thing. I was still in college. Because you know I would have wanted to come on and be teacher's sister or something. I didn't even
I can see that.
I missed the whole thing. So that's why I'm asking these questions. So you were acting. What were you on? Anything that we saw?
Yeah, shoots. I had guest starring roles on shows like Gabriel's Fire, where I was acting with James Earl Jones. I was in a house party,
right?
huh?
A medical show.
He was an attorney. No, he wasn't an attorney. It was a medical show. It was medical.
Yes, I remember that one.
I was in a house party.
I don't remember that. Who were you?
My character's name was the tall teen. So I was in the bathroom scene where something got stuck in the toilet, and I was the one that revealed it. If you remember that scene
I
and
will
house
go
party.
back.
I gotta go back and watch that.
Hey, you gotta
Wait.
have
So
to.
you had an opportunity. You had the opportunity, Bentley, to meet the late great Robin Harris.
Oh, come on, man. I was at the Comedy Act Theater every Thursday night.
Damn.
Every Thursday night. It was incredible. I was just telling the story. I just did a documentary about it that I can't really speak on yet because they haven't really released the details on it. But I saw Robin a lot. I played basketball with Robin. I used to go.
Robin Harris knew how to play basketball.
And let me tell you something. Hey, Robin could ball too. Robin.
Oh my God.
Hey, not only could Robin, huh?
Where was Robin Harris from?
Well, Robin grew up, well, he was from Chicago, but he actually went to high school here in LA. And I met him as a result of him and Martin was super tight, which I'll get into the whole Martin thing in a
Yeah.
second.
So where are you from out here in LA?
I was born in the Bay, raised in LA.
Hey.
Born in the Bay,
Hey.
born in the Bay, raised in LA. I grew up in the Windsor Hills View Park area, you know, Slauson Overhill area. From the
Yes.
time from the time I was about 4 years old. I went to Westchester High School with some people you know. I was there. Regina King lived on the same block as me.
Oh.
Yeah. And Nia Long, we were all at the same high school.
Yes, legendaries.
Yeah.
We're at the Overhills, Slauson area.
Come on, Kurupt. You know it. You know that area.
We everywhere, baby. And that's Bentley. He's the man.
Okay, V. So
Oh, yeah.
go ahead. So you were acting. Is that how you met? Because
So I was acting. You know, I did a bunch of stuff, and I actually was up for a series. It was an NBC series, and me and Martin were up for the same role. We were screen testing for the same role at NBC. And when he came in, I knew who he was because he was already on What's Happening Now. So immediately I was intimidated because I was like, dude's from What's Happening Now. He's gonna get the role, the whole night. But Martin was so kind to me that day. And you know how it is, Paula, when you test for a series, you're there all day.
right, all day.
All day. So
those old school tests used to be like in theaters, like very intimidating. Whole lot of people watching. Yes.
no question. And so Martin and I, we had went to lunch together the day of our test, and we were, you know, messing with each other like, you know, I'm gonna get that role over. You know, I'm gonna get that role. And so what ended up happening was it was a project called A Little Bit Strange, and I don't even remember all the people that were in it, but I know that Michael Warren was in it, Finance Henderson, and Martin actually ended up getting the role. I mean, he had the advantage. His manager was the executive producer, Topper Kurupt.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
My fan up there, of course.
Hey, was this before Do the Right
So
Thing?
why did they waste your time? Go ahead, baby. What are you asking?
Wait, was this before Do the Right Thing?
You know what, Kurupt? It was right after Do the Right Thing. It was like, I think they did Do the Right Thing in '87, I want to say.
Yeah, because, you know, Martin was the man. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody worried about your car. Come on, get in the car. Martin, hey, man, you know, shouts to Spike Lee, because Spike Lee keeps his actors working. And Martin was in there and he shined.
Yeah, he put him on. He put him on in a major way. And so me and Martin, he got the role. We made a pact that we would, you know, stay in contact with each other. Martin was fresh in town from DC area. And so he didn't have no family out here. So I invited him over to my parents' house for Thanksgiving. And we just kind of hit it off and just became really, really cool. We got real tight. And then let's see what happened. After that, I had booked a small role in House Party, and then, you know, we reconnected there. And then this is one you don't know.
Y'all remember Martin and the House Party?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was Bad Breath
Dragon Breath.
Bilal.
Yes.
That was Bilal. Stop hitting the stereo, Bilal.
Yes.
You already know. And so then Martin and I actually ended up booking a TV series together for ABC. I mean, he and I starred in the series with Eric LaSalle, Jim Brown, Bernie Casey, Isaac Hayes.
What was this show?
Well, check it out. Remember I'ma Get You Sucker? Remember the movie I'ma
I
Get You
love
Sucker?
that. Yeah.
So Keenan did a televised version of it called Hammer, Slammer, and Slave. And me and Martin played the roles that Kadeem Hardison and Damon Wayans played.
Oh my gosh, those two fools. I can.
Which one was you?
I played the one Damon Wayans played.
Oh man, shut up, stupid.
I was that dude.
Were
I
the
was that
best.
dude.
And so did it go? How many episodes?
They shot a pilot, and then Keenan put all his attention in the In Living Color, and we didn't make it no further than that. They did air it on ABC, but that was about it.
Did you guys get picked up?
Nah, we didn't get picked up.
Or they just shot the pilot.
They shot the pilot, but remember back in the day, they used to air the pilots?
I don't remember that.
Yeah, they used to air them, even if it didn't.
Like a test?
No, they will just air it. Like we shot it, so we
So
gonna
it-
put this shit on TV as like a
Like a
TV.
movie of the week?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, so did they air it?
They aired it.
Ah, so you got a check.
Oh, well, I got the check. You know, I mean, I you know, it was an ABC thing. I got the check and everything. It just didn't go no further than that. If you Google it, it's out there because I've seen it on.
So how'd you feel about that Keenan left y'all in the lurch? And
Well,
because
you know,
I'm feeling some type of way right now. Somebody left me in the lurch and went off. I'm just playing.
no, I didn't. Are we gonna talk about
Not
that?
even a little bit. I don't feel that way. I'm so happy for you. I'm so thankful for everything you do, everything you touch, everything, including my whole life. You
Wow.
know, you brought
We
me
ain't
back.
done. We ain't done yet. We ain't done yet.
Okay,
We're
let's
not done.
so let's get to now. You guys are on House Party. You just finished this project. Keenan has gone off to make A Living Color a hit, and now.
So now Martin calls me up one day out of the blue and he says, "Hey man, roll with me to the Clippers game real quick." And I'm a Laker fan, so I appeased him and went, right? And on the way there, he said, "Hey man, you know, this company HBO, they want to do a TV series with me, like some kind of sitcom." And I'm asking, because you know Martin, and he said, "I'm asking you right now, before it even turns in anything, if I could do something for you, let me know what it is. If you want to audition for one of the roles, I'll make sure you get straight to the producers, the whole nine." And what I told him was, if you really want to do something for me, why don't you put me on that writing staff? I'm a writer, dog. True story. And Martin says, "Yeah, but come on, Ben, that's what the white boys do. Come on, man. I'm talking about an audition." I was like, "I don't want to audition."
Okay, let's stop.
Okay.
What
All right.
made you know that's where the power is? What was it in your heart, in your gut? What made you make that move?
Nah, so it had nothing to do with the power because I didn't even know what the
You
power
weren't
was.
even hip to it. It was God.
Nah,
Right.
what it was I used to always sit up and watch Cosby Show and Different World, and I would sit there and go, "Man, I could write that episode," and I would get out a notebook and start writing my own scripts on notebook paper.
Based on the structure that you had seen.
Right. And so then I was like, let me create something myself. So I wrote this pilot script for this idea that I had called Just Me and the Boys. And here's what's funny, because you went to Howard, so you understand that whole Howard University thing. The character was a guy who went to Howard University, but he messed up because he was like a fuck up his whole life, and he messed up and he didn't get housing, so he had to basically basically
This is a hot script for now. Go ahead.
So what he ended up having to do, he saw an ad in the paper where he could come in and get free room and board if he took over this house where he would be looking over these wayward kids, like not a halfway house, but a group home.
Right.
Troubled youth, right?
Right.
And so he took the job, but he didn't realize that they were the kids from hell. And so it was like a Charles in Charge type of thing, but with a brother that was going to an HBCU, the shit won't be hot, right?
Right. So it's kind of like Jessie.
Yeah.
For the kids.
For the kids.
Except she went to Howard.
Exactly.
I love it. So what happened?
So what happened was when Martin said, "But Ben, you don't write." I was like, "I do write." So Martin was shooting House Party 2 at the time, and they was downtown at Union Station. And the next day I showed up on the set of House Party 2, and I had a stack of scripts that I had written. And I said, "Oh, you say I don't write, huh?"
All right, Tyler Perry.
I said, "I'm gonna leave these in your dressing room."
Okay.
So I leave the stack of scripts in his dressing room, and I didn't know if he was gonna get a chance to read them or not. So then the next day, it was Saturday morning, I get a call from Martin at 8:30 in the morning. And he said, "Yo, man, I didn't know." And I was like, "What you talking about?" He goes, "Yo, you're a writer, man. You're a real writer, right?" And he said, "Can you come out to my house?" So I went out to his house, and he was like, "Yo, I read this Just Me and the Boys script, and this is what I want to do for a show." And I was like, "Oh, okay, all right." He said, "Yeah, I want to talk to my managers." So he talked to his people, and then he had this meeting at HBO with Chris Albrecht, who was running HBO.
Pause. So, did you give him a stack of Me and the Boys, or did you give him options?
No, I had a Me and the Boy. I had the Me and the Boys script. I had a different world spec that I had written. I had a Cosby Show spec that I had written, and it was something else that I had written too that I had seen on TV, and I was like, just
So it was a show for him, and then about 5 other shows that you liked, but to show him that you knew how to write for sitcom TV, had that half-hour comedy. Okay,
That's
I get
right.
it. And
That's right.
and he liked your idea. Took it to Chris Albrecht. For those of you all who don't know, he's the big wig at HBO. Is he still there? I think he is.
No, he's not at HBO anymore.
Where's he now?
Well, shoots, Chris left there, and then he was running Stars.
Oh wow!
And I think he recently
He's
stepped
the
down.
man.
Yeah, he stepped down from Stars. And so at that point, Martin takes me into this meeting with them, and they clowned me in the meeting, right? Check this out. This is some wild shit here. Martin takes me to the meeting, and the receptionist tells Martin, they're waiting for you inside. Your friend can have a seat right here. And so I said, okay, cool, I'll sit down. And Martin said, nah, if he don't go in the room, I don't go in the room. Where they do that at, Paula? Where does that happen?
Black men don't do
He
that.
said, if he can't come in the room, I don't come in the room.
We don't look out for each other like that. We
It
didn't be
don't-
like, okay, Bent, I had you back in the room. I'll tell them all about you. I'll be back in 5.
That's exactly how it usually goes down. So Chris Albrecht comes in and he's like, what's going on? And Martin says, look, my man is with me, he's my writer. So we go in the room, and John Bowman, who actually created the Martin Show, is in the room. And Martin said, hey, this is the dude that's writing for me. And they were like, it don't work like that, Martin. So they were asking me what my credits were, and basically clowning me. I'm black kid from South Central LA. I don't really have no credits and nothing like that. So they were like, who are you? What have you written?
Right.
I didn't have any writing credits.
Yes.
So they were like, the joke was on me. But then this is where it got heavy. After we left the meeting, me and Martin was walking back to the car, and he was real quiet. And I said, hey, Martin, check this out, man. I appreciate what you did in the room and everything, but don't blow your shot, trying to look out for me. I'm gonna be all right. And Martin got pissed off, but he got mad at me. And I was like, what's he getting mad at me? But then later I understood. He basically said, nigga, don't say that shit to me. Look, these white boys do it all the time. They look out for theirs and bring theirs in. And if I'm looking out for you, man, you gotta back me all the way on this, because I'm going, I'm going to the end for you. So you gotta,
But don't you hate when niggas do that? When you go out your way to put somebody on and they be acting all humble and don't come through. I so get where he was putting that fire under your butt.
And
like,
he was.
Nigga, I'm going out full out for you. You better go out full out for you too.
And he was doing just that, but I didn't, I didn't realize. I'm looking out like, yo, nigga, don't fuck your shit up trying to, look out for me. And so, but I learned a valuable lesson, because he was like, look, I come from the gutter, Bent, and I don't have no problem going back to the gutter, okay? This all I got. And I'm gonna make it in this business. And if if you're gonna make it, you gotta have that same attitude. So it was a very quiet ride home. You know what I'm saying? But
And
then I got it.
What was going through your mind at that moment? Like,
what was going through my mind was he's right, but I didn't really like the way he kind of like,
not the brutal honesty of the Aries.
Yeah, it was a real situation, and I never seen anybody that age that serious yet. I'm still
nigga, either you getting on the boat or
yeah, but I mean, I was still very kid-like. I'm in the streets still partying, and I wasn't serious about my life yet. And my parents lived here in LA, so I was still living at the crib in my mother's basement. Life was lovely. I was the Fresh Prince, so I didn't have that pressure. You know what I mean?
Right. So continue. So
he had that.
Says, now, first of all, Ben, I want to talk about that, because that is something that white boys do all the time, and that is something that you've talked about, even though at that moment you didn't know. going into rooms alone is basically a no-no. Am I correct? Like, you always want to take someone with you. Is that something you've heard before? It's something I've heard before, but I'm asking you to confirm based on that experience.
So I am going to say it's not necessarily the thing to do. You don't always want to bring somebody in because they might fuck it up for you. But in this particular instance, I think that we both were too ignorant to know exactly what to do.
Right.
It was like, you know, hey, listen, he didn't know the proper etiquette was you don't bring people to the meeting.
Right.
And I was too ignorant to know that you don't go. So
but you knew the stories.
I knew the stories.
And he had the pizzazz. So how did that meeting end up? So then what happened?
So what ended up happening was about 2 weeks later, I get a phone call from Martin and he says, hey man, look, I got good news and bad news. And I said, what's that? He says, the bad news is they're not gonna, you're not gonna be the writer of my series. You're not gonna create the show because the white boy John was in the room and he's gonna write the show. The good news is they're willing to bring you on as a staff writer if the show gets going. And I was like, okay. I mean, it's a win no matter what, right?
Right. You giving me a job? I'm good. Okay.
And so that's what ended up happening was I started working on the pilot, and then I was with Martin.
What show?
On Martin.
I just want you to tell our audience.
On Martin. I'm sorry. I left that part out.
Martin.
On Martin. So we started working on the pilot, and in the room.
So was it cast yet? Had Tisha already been cast?
No, we were still just working on the script. But here's the thing. Tisha Campbell is the only person that didn't audition for the show. It was like all or nothing. Bentley comes with the show and Tisha comes with the show. That's it.
I love it.
So who came with the show?
That was based on their relationship during House Party or his working with her and knowing what a consummate actress she was.
No, it was from the whole thing from House Party. It was like he knew chemistry wise, that's the girl I want to be my leading lady. And he couldn't have been more right. You know what I mean?
And you know what's crazy though? Now I gotta say this because I'm a historian with some of this shit.
My baby.
This is what I'm a historian about. The two key characters of the females have a history.
They have a history as well.
Together and being a part of classic films, rags to riches.
Mm-hmm. That was
Little Shop of Horror.
Right. And then they went to high school together and then did Little Shop of Horrors together. Yes.
Their chemistry is incredible. And to see them on Martin still together like that,
that was
historical. You know what I'm saying? Because they work so well together. Their chemistry is so there, which is another thing. Tish, how you say her name correctly? Because this is my homegirl.
Tashina.
Right. Tashina, right? She don't get her props either because Tashina.
But I disagree. She stays working. And the cool thing is she's elevated. It was at first in their careers, she was the Pam and Tisha was the Gina. But as they've aged, Tashina has been able to carve her own career on her own terms. And in projects like the one that she did for LeBron James. And now she's on another project on network TV with Cedric the Entertainer. Yeah.
And I can't wait for her to.
And they still support each other.
I can't wait for her to be that leading role. She's a leading role.
You mean like in a movie? Because she's leading all these TV shows.
And she deserves that opportunity.
She's doing it. You got to watch the shows, Kurupt.
Like television shows?
Yeah. You got your Google stick.
Yeah, she's on The Neighborhood right now, and then she was on Survivor's Remorse.
I'm talking about like
Everybody Hates Chris.
Like I'm talking about like
the game and everybody
young lady
Chris,
that came out the blue, because she came out the blue to me and she kills the game all the time because Cuz puts her in all his shit. Tyler Perry puts her in all his shit. Spike Lee had her flying too. Baby Boy.
Oh, Taraji?
Man, Taraji's
Yeah,
killing.
well, she started with me. Quit playing.
Right.
And,
And
and,
that's
and,
what I'm talking about.
and
That's what I'm talking about when I'm talking about Tashina having that major, that leading
Okay.
role.
Yes.
She's
Movies.
always been on my radar as she deserves that because she knows
But
how
you
to
do
play.
know that she did transition into a phenomenal movie that got a lot of Sundance accolades.
Which one, Paula?
About San Francisco. Some Last Black Man in San Francisco.
Oh, I saw that movie. Yeah, it was good.
Yes. So she is making those major transitions. But y'all got to understand, these women are bosses. They invest their money in real estate.
Right.
So it becomes less about the drama as much about the check. Tashina has done it all, been there. And I know in her life, if that is something she wants to do, we will see that from her.
And I think we are because
I know we will. But right now, I got a feeling she living a good life.
Oh, yeah.
passion
On
for
her thing.
acting. You know, once a real actor like that, you just have a passion for it, man. And you can go do other businesses, but you're always going to be drawn back to that passion because now it's like fun, or now it's just like, you know, this is what I do. Somebody's going to give her that role that she can't deny and say, okay, I'll do it. And be in that game because I'm looking forward to it because she's great. I also want to compliment Bentley because Jesus Christ, my favorite sitcom is Martin.
Right.
Martin is my
Grew up
favorite.
on Martin.
My favorite character.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's get back to that.
You the one who brought Yo-Yo.
Let
Let me ask this, Paula. Was you the one who brought Yo-Yo in because you from the house?
I did put Yo-Yo in there. You know I
Right.
did.
I told you, I knew it. You put Yo-Yo up in there, put Yolanda in that game.
Are you aware I just spoke to Yolanda today?
Oh, wow.
That's my
And Snoop was on there.
Family right there,
You
Paula.
had no idea.
Hey,
She
look.
was on
And
my
Snoop.
show in 3 weeks.
Hey, look, we had Yo-Yo on there. We had Snoop on there. We had Biggie on there. We had Brian McKnight on there.
I seen them all.
We had Tyrese on there.
Right.
And here's the thing. It's like all of those people, like I had already knew Tyrese. I had to convince Martin to put him on the
Davis.
show. Who?
Wendy Davis.
Wait, that's right. Wendy Davis was on there. I mean,
Kid.
so many. If I just start, I can't even. We had Little Richard on there. We had Billy.
Who's that?
I remember that one.
Yeah, we had Billy D. Williams on there. We had Richard Pryor on there.
It was the place to be. Now, how did it transition from you writing as a staff writer on the pilot to becoming the showrunner?
So what ended up happening was the first season of Martin, I was on there as a staff writer.
Right.
But you know, when you have, you know, the innate ability to play the copycat game, I just watched what those white folks was doing. I watched them and I sat in there and I soaked up the game, and I became the person in the room to where they would ask me all the questions on what would Martin do? What would he say here? All that player from the Himalayas and all that, that's all from me. That was my brothers and them talk that shit at home and jump.
Hey, how did y'all cast Romy Rome? Where was he at? How'd y'all meet him?
Now, you know what? I'm telling you, Romy Rome was my big brother. He was my oldest brother. And my oldest brother used to talk all that shit.
Yeah, player from the Himalayas.
Hey, one of the original players from the Himalayas, all that shit, you know.
What about Tracy Morgan? You started
I
Tracy Morgan.
Motherfucking house.
Yeah, always selling that.
What about Tracy Morgan, Mr. Bentley?
Selling that bootleg
Y'all-
stuff.
Tracy Morgan came, that's a trip because what happened was Martin was doing Def Comedy Jam at the time, and we had gone to New York because like what we would do is on our hiatus period, we would go to New York and do Def Comedy Jam, and Martin would do a whole week and just shoot like a gang of episodes. And we met Tracy at Def Comedy Jam. And
Was
Tracy
he still wearing the propeller at the time?
He was wearing the propeller and the little mini dreads, kind of like how the ball players do this shit now.
Morgan, that's my
Shout
nigga.
out to Trey.
But check this out. Tracy was like a real a real guy. You know, he was telling us that he had kids and he had a family and he was married at the time. And he had this real hard luck story about how he was living in the streets and all that shit, right? And so Martin, being the generous guy that he is, he said, hey, Tracy, you know what? If you ever make your way to LA, you know, I put you on the show, give you a role or something, you know, you can play with us a little bit. So lo and behold, Tracy, it's a plane ticket, shows up on the set of the Martin show. And when he got there, Martin felt an obligation to do something for him. And we had just kind of wrote the Bruh Man character out because of contractual disputes.
Wait a minute. What was that about the guy who used to climb through the windows?
Yeah, that was Bruh Man.
We missed him. What happened?
Well, you know how agents and managers get involved
They
sometimes.
wanted more money for climbing in the window.
Yeah, they felt like Bruh Man was still in the show, which
It sucks when your agent and manager loses a role for you. I say that as an actor and as someone who, y'all don't do that. Don't do that to us. Because I'm sure Bruh Man would have climbed through that window till the dang on windows.
Oh yeah,
You left the tar on the paper.
the toilet paper. What happened was his agents and them, you know, they did that thing. And
Right.
so Martin was like, well, bro, sorry, we'll just do the show without him. So
Right.
1 month, don't stop, no show. We don't play
Right.
that.
Right.
And so when Tracy was in, it was like, yo, can you guys come up with something for Tracy to play? And me and Kenny Buford, another writer on the show, we would just sit with Tracy at lunch and come up with ideas. And he was like, yo, Chief, I want to do this character where I play this, I'm like a hustler. I'm gonna do this real hustle thing. And so I was like, okay. So we started writing and I was like, he's Hustle Man. We have Bruh Man. Now we're gonna have Hustle Man. And Hustle Man is just, yo, Chief, I just, you know, I go door to door, I sell things. I'm a hustler, Chief. You know what I'm saying, Chief? You get what I'm saying, Chief? And so Tracy was so funny with all that shit. So we just started writing the scripts to where he would come in the door and always be trying to hustle everybody.
Right.
And it just happened organically. And then he ended up doing about 10, 12 episodes of the show. And here's the funny shit. The executives at the network, they didn't like none of them characters. They hated Romy Rome. The only one they liked was Shanae. They thought Shanae was funny.
Of course.
Oh, they love that type of shit.
Exactly. But they didn't like
Like the officer?
They didn't like none of that shit. They didn't like, because I was like, y'all don't get it. These are hood characters that we know. We know these people.
So that means they put a lot of trust in you.
No, what it was Martin was a fighter. And I'm trying to tell you, what I'm trying to say about what Martin was for the culture, Martin Lawrence, not the character, but Martin Lawrence.
I know.
What he was for the culture was something that we don't see that often. He was juggernaut. This dude came in there and he fought for what he believed.
But he fought better than Pryor, because Pryor's fight ended up canceled. Pryor said, fuck him.
Yeah, but
Martin made it, he found a way to negotiate and meet them in the middle.
Martin was a no-nonsense dude, Paula. He didn't meet him nowhere in the middle. He told him it's my way or the highway. You're gonna do it my way.
Of a different age, because I perceive that that's the same thing Pryor did during his stint on television.
I don't think so. Here's the difference. What Martin did was he waited until he knew that the show was a hit. And he knew, oh, they need me.
Yeah, Pryor got tired of their asses after the first season. He ain't even make the whole first season.
Well, and see, Richard Pryor was already a star. You know what I'm saying? He was already a star when he came in. But Martin was not a star. Martin knew it's all or nothing. This is my shot. This is it. And so I got to put everything into this. I got to go for the gusto.
So
and he
how was that fight perceived by the powers that be? Because
they hated it.
They hadn't seen no shit like that before.
They hated it. They hated to see this black man, 20-something years old, go toe-to-toe with him and tell him, fuck you, we ain't doing it that way, we doing it my way. And win. And everybody that worked with him knew that Martin didn't take no shit. And that's the reason why that show is the hit that it is today, because he stood his ground. He wasn't scared of nobody.
Right, and you can see that within the context of the show. So what was the first major win that you guys had that shut them down, basically, and that you can remember that was the coup that ended the war?
Well, I don't know what ended the war, but I will say there was one episode that we did probably around third season where AJ Sanders was on the show and she was playing one of Gina's pregnant partners, and she had a baby in their living room and the baby shot out like a cannon. And look, the network fought us tooth and nail on that. They told us we are not doing that. And Martin was like this, that's exactly what we're doing. And we fought him and fought him. Martin wouldn't come out of his dressing room until they just agreed to let us do what we wanted to do.
That when the baby shot out and he was fumbling.
Yeah.
Started like a football.
Yeah. And he was, and Tommy
They didn't
said,
want to keep that. Come on.
they didn't want to do it. They told us we could not do it. And so Martin said, we're going to make a joke out of the fact that the baby shot out, and Tommy catches the baby. And he says, this baby ain't got no umbilical cord. And Martin said, we don't need no umbilical cord. This is TV.
TV.
Oh, man. Who does that in a sitcom? That shit
You
don't
did.
You know what I mean?
Classic. And when that came back, and because did that even happen in the first season? Because y'all were a hit
Nah.
from the minute you
that
hit
was
the
not.
airwaves.
That wasn't the first season. That happened like third season. First season, I mean, the fights were just like really, really solid, where Martin had no problem telling the president of HBO to basically, fuck off, because it's like, I believe in my vision, and if I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna fail on my own merit.
Yes.
But if we're gonna win, I'm gonna lead us to this victory.
Yes, yes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And people don't do that no more. People, I'm not mentioning no names, but there's a lot of people out there that keep promises, that say they're gonna keep promises and never do. They never follow through, and then they blame it on the powers that be. Oh, well, I couldn't look out because,
Well, you're here. And that to me says it all about who you are and why you are where you are. So
Right.
we don't have much time. So let's get a condensed version. So we jump from the success of Martin and we get to Jamie Foxx. Is that your next?
Yeah. I started jumping into the movie.
I could friggin' interview you for hours.
All right, well, we're not gonna do it. I'm not gonna take up all these people's
Can
time.
we bring you back?
Of course.
I mean, because it's time to go, but we don't know about Martin, getting from Martin to Jamie, how that happened, and now you're back with Jamie.
Paula, are you talking about the Jamie Foxx show?
Yes,
The Jamie
baby.
Foxx show.
With Wanda?
No, Wanda was on a living color.
Living
I mean,
color.
not Wanda. What's her name? What's her,
Fancy.
Marcel Bouvet.
what's her name?
Fancy.
What's her name?
Fancy.
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 So, and we need you to teach us how to
What
pick.
was that face she had?
Now, our initial reasoning for bringing you on is Kurupt. Show him a picture of the book, the Dog Pound book.
Oh, yeah. Daz wrote this, DPG for life. It takes you
sir.
an in-depth stroll through the entire death row thing. Tupac, Snoop, myself, Nate Dogg, with, all the classic pictures. See Snoop when he was a baby.
Oh yeah.
Daz, you see Daz when he was...
Now, we were talking earlier about RZA, and RZA just was able to create something similar with the Wu-Tang.
Right.
By telling their story, he got a deal. We want to do that for us. I'm us now. I've been here longer than I was in Cleveland, but for Cali, for the Cali story, for our Wu-Tang, and we need help. So, are you busy next week?
Paula, I'm always busy, but I'm never too busy for you.
I love
Right.
you.
Paula, you are the one,
get-
not the two.
Can we get, and it's not just for me. Who is it for, Kurupt?
It's for all of us. It's for all of them. It's for all
It's
the
for
people,
us.
and that's why we do the forum, Bentley.
So-
Because people like yourself, like
Need
D,
to be heard.
y'all give the game. The community loves to hear. Paula gives us the access, so we're granted Derek, we just never know where the fuck he's at. So you know what I'm saying? It's always good to find out where Derek's at because he's somewhere where it's cracking. But you know,
I'm in the studio working.
On so last minute, and I apologize for keeping it on time. I know Forrest is gonna kill me when we get off, but we're trying to keep it on time. If that's one thing I did learn from you, I know there's a time.
We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go. We gotta go.
So I'm gonna stay on top of it, and I'm going to make sure we get you back next week. And just forget it all. I want to devote the whole 2 hours to you. Just
All right.
his story cannot be explained or understood.
yes, and Omar, he said he come through as well. And you know, I just want to get that game from you. You know, and because there are so many of us out there with stories to tell, fearless, and stories like Kurupt's story, you know, and Daz and Snoop. You know, why aren't we telling the story of the death row?
Exactly.
You know, that's us. That's home. So that's why I chose you. So
Well, I appreciate it.
we'll
Hey, listen. I'll come through next week. You know,
hey.
you already know that anytime you want my full attention, you already know I like to eat. You can always buy me a meal. Remember that night at Boa, we did the meal. Anyway,
When I get back, you know I got to check now. When I get back,
I love it.
we gonna
All right.
Right?
triple.
Soul food, greens, macaroni and cheese.
I got you.
M&M style.
You trying to invite us over to your mansion?
I mean, hello, M&M style. M&M style.
Anytime
When
you
I
want
come
to come.
to LA to shoot a house divided, I remember you said that. We'll come eat over there.
You always got a place in our hut.
You know?
All good.
Dominique, let people know where they can find you. I love you. Thank you for coming on. You're beautiful. You'll be back, I pray.
Yeah, anytime.
Good.
Yeah, find me on Instagram. What is it? Dominique_DVD. I do comedy skits and stuff on there too. People don't know. Yeah, so
we had to drop it down. Blueface thing that was
called Bust Down Rockiana. It was a rockhead, and I had like redid the lyrics for like a crackhead.
It was so good. Okay. My baby Bent, let them know real quick. They're gonna see you next week, but let them know how they can follow you.
Hey, listen, on all platforms, it's just at Bentley Evans. I mean, I go by the name of Bentley Kyle Evans, but it's at Bentley Evans on everything. Watch Dad Stop Embarrassing Me on April 14th on Netflix. That's my newest joint starring Jamie Foxx. Make sure you're there.
Wow.
We'll see you next week. Derek, we always see you. Kurupt, I love you. We'll see y'all next week.
Touch.
You there.
Peace.